What is good, Friday Night Futon? We're around trade deadline, so you're not just getting videos on Friday. We have another NBA trade, a big one, because it finally moves De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Let's just break down the trade details in this breakdown. We got 3 teams in this one, and unlike the other one, the Jazz, with the Jazz, this team has a little bit more. All 3 teams actually got something here, even though you might argue for the Bulls. But I'm going to pop up the trade right now on the screen if I'll find it. But I'm going to just break it down for you guys right here. The Spurs received De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings received Zach Lavine, Sidi Sogosco, 3 first-round picks. And then the Bulls received Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, Zach Collins, a 2025 first-round pick, which would be their own. So, yeah, a lot to unravel right here with this trade. We just had the Luka trade a couple of days ago. I'm going to touch on some more things really quick with that. Chandler Parsons on the TV with Lou Williams was talking about just the craziness and how he reached out to Mark Cuban and said he was confused. And Mark Cuban said, that makes 2 of us. So clearly he wasn't in on this. We have Luka buying a $15 million mansion, and then crying when he gets traded. That's what also Chandler Parsons reported. And then just Nico himself, for a man to really go out, he's a brave man for admitting multiple things. For first, he admitted to all of this on the Jason Kidd presser, which was. Jason Kidd was just looked like he was stunned and just I couldn't believe that was actually a public thing. But we have Nico Harrison admitting that Pelinka thought he was trolling. The Mavs owner laughed at him when he brought up the trade up. Luka didn't want out and didn't indicate he wouldn't resign. And Nico Harrison also admitted that he doesn't care about 10 years from now because he doesn't believe he'll be around. And this is a shout out to my friend Eli. This is the same guy that messed up the Steph Curry contract with Nike in 2013. It's I don't know how this guy even gained power. I don't know why Mark Cuban decided this is the guy, but clearly Mark Cuban did not. He's confused as well. And we just have a lot of different things. Also in my thing, I kind of gave props to Danny Ainge. I'm going to take those props away now because it says Danny Ainge reportedly had no idea he was helping the Lakers land Luka Doncic, and by the time he found out, it was too late for him to do anything. Reported that Doncic to be the new face of the franchise, but then didn't want that to happen, but then was told it was too late and the NBA history was about to be altered. So he didn't even want to get in there with this trade. Just shows how crazy this is. But then we have another big one that same day, technically, because the other Luka one happened at 2 a.m. that night. This one happened in the day. Sending De'Aaron Fox. Finally, you're going to see some weird rosters. Shout out, Perfect Player. Watch it on Friday Night Futon for a breakdown video, and then watch actual gameplay on Giblets the Clown Gaming if you guys want to see this. Winston Brockman is James Worthy, so he's not going to be joining a James Worthy team over here, but he's still going to make this team better. You add now 289s to this team, but in real life, you only add 189. De'Aaron Fox is the type of guy that we see the Spurs have these really good games and these really low lows, and I think De'Aaron Fox should eliminate those low lows. This is a guy that can just be an offensive hub and a defensive a perimeter attacker that they need. Chris Paul can really just keep working with the guys on the bench, and then you have Chris Paul, who is clearly working with Wembanyama coming off the bench. So now you have 2 solidified point guards right now. I don't believe Chris Paul will be there in 4 years from now, but really, really good foundation with this team. If we go down to their depth chart again, we have Brockman in there. But we have Devin Vassell. I would have Sochan plans of putting the more 2 defensive and then the scorer in there rather than Harrison Barnes, which is more the veteran. But then the bench, looking at the bench, like I said, this is probably going to be your bench except for Keldon Johnson, who's probably going to be starting. But off the bench, you have all 80 overalls. Everyone knows what to do here. Branham should be playing in real life, and so should probably Champagny. But like, this team is well-rounded, beautiful now, ready for the now, and ready for the future. Really, really impressive stuff right there for the Spurs front office because, like I said, you didn't give up any of the guys that, like, I thought were going to go. Like, I thought you were going to have to give up Shohan, or maybe Stephon Castle was playing too good that now the Kings really wanted a young player to cornerstone off of. But clearly, they did not. They were fine making the Bulls 2.0 in Sacramento, which we're going to go over here and now look at their team. We don't know what number Zach Lavine's going to be. I'm mad that De'Aaron Fox is taking number 2. Just lowers the probability of Kawhi Leonard getting his number retired there. And then, because if De'Aaron Fox does something crazy, then it makes it harder, honestly, for De'Aaron Fox to get his number retired. But anyway, that's another story. But we got Zach Lavine out here with DeMar DeRozan. They did say Malik Monk should be playing the point guard. It should be the main facilitator for this team, which shall be interesting because I really thought Malik Monk took a big leap this year in playmaking, and that's honestly what when kind of their kind of boosted them with the Doug Christie intern coach. So, but I don't know about this because yes, Zach Lavine is a ball. He wants the ball in his hands, and he also is a ball handler. But now I'm looking at a team with no true guard. Again, you have my created player here, Rafa Petrus, as Wally Zerbiak. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of lose a little bit of that, like this team's just in the mud still for me. Like this getting Zach Lavine for De'Aaron Fox. I mean, it doesn't really move this team at all. It probably takes them down a tier because we saw how mid-tier the Bulls were in the East, and now you're just replacing Vucevic with Sabonis. Sabonis should be an All-Star this year, but was not. Probably the biggest snub out of there. But yeah, I don't know. Like this team, I don't understand how you get good rolling and you get good cooking with without your head coach, and then you trade your other star player. But I do understand. I'm glad that he did go to the Spurs, did go to the place that he wanted to, and I think the place that he'll strive the most with. And then let's go see what the return for the Bulls were. And I hate to say it, I don't want to say you did this to yourself, but like we saw what kind of happened with Bradley Beal. Once you hold on to these players for too long, they got Chris Paul and waived him. The get back for this was very bad. Your biggest thing out of this was getting your own draft pick back for yourself. You have Kevin Huerter. Like none of the players that you're going to get back is starting, first of all. But Trey Jones, really solid point guard. Not as good as Tyus Jones. I know me and Mike were laughing because he averages 5 points and he averaged 5 points in this. But I think you're just a really another good, steady ball handler. But mad that he's on this team because I'm going to name all guards right here. Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Trey Jones. We have Kevin Huerter now added to this team. Lonzo Ball, who's playing cold in this, which is sad. Then we have Aya DeSumo. And then we have, who I really like, Javon Carter. And then Javon Carter's not going to get any minutes. He's looking at the 15th man now on this roster, which is insane. They have Paul Pierce with Gasper Keefe. So I believe Nikola Vucevic should be traded as well before trade deadline. So that I'm guessing the Bulls still have one more move to do, and I hope they can maybe package one of these guards. I don't know how the rules work in if they could package one of the guards they just got, or they might just need to move on from like Aya DeSumo, or like they have a lot of guards right here for this team, and I don't know how that's going to work out for the development purposes. Modest, I'm glad that he kind of gets more full reins here and you didn't clog up anything there with him. I like the Zach Collins pickup. I do believe he is a better big than Jalen Smith. And he is injury prone, so having Jalen Smith still on the roster is a good idea still. He can, but still, I don't know. It did help them just all around. I guess your all around role players are better. Kevin Huerter theoretically should be able to space the floor and shoot threes, but has kind of been in a slump ever since he took his headband off, in my opinion. I don't know, just really stagnant here for the Bulls as well. It's really nice that you finally got off Zach Lavine and you're kind of fully back into this rebuild. you've committed. But I feel like if you committed 2 years earlier, looking in hindsight, you would have maybe gotten a better package. So I'm mad that they stuck with Zach Lavine for all this time. But yeah, I'm glad that they have their pick back. I'm glad that they control their destiny again. And losing games and winning games actually matters when you have your own pick. When you don't have your own pick, it doesn't even matter if you lose games because you're not going to get rewarded. You shouldn't get rewarded for losing games, but you aren't going to get the benefit of losing games. Just really stuck for all these teams. Rarely do I feel like I see a team where it's like a 3-teamer and then 2 teams almost get worse or kind of get like, I don't know. And then the one team is going up higher, which, and theoretically, the Spurs are the lowest seed out of all of these. I know it just says that on my standings, but the Kings have been playing better basketball than the Spurs. So the worst team out of this 3-team trade is going to be the team that's getting a lot better because they have a borderline all-star type guy in De'Aaron Fox. And so let's just go to the Spurs De'Aaron Fox fit, because I feel like that's what the most important thing is right here with this team, because the talks were either it was first before De'Aaron Fox was Trae Young, and I really, really like that for the playmaking aspects for Wembanyama, but seeing how Castle has like a defensive guard and just the downhill attacking that this team seems to be missing, De'Aaron Fox seems a better fit than Trae Young, even though Trae Young I would say is the better player. Because even if De'Aaron Fox doesn't find his three at sometimes, you have the logo shooting 7'4" man. You have Devin Vassell, who has always been able to shoot the ball at a consistent rate. You're getting Chris Paul's best 3-point shooting year. So this could be a team that could quickly turn it up real fast at the end of this All-Star break, and I could see them again. I'm back to my hot take again. This is the most dangerous team in the play-in if you were to play this team in the play-in now, because now you have to deal with the Victor Wembanyama one game, and then you have to deal with De'Aaron Fox. I'm glad that they pulled this move off. I hope that they can get a little bit of run before All-Star break, because I really see, I think adding a true guard, like a point guard. I talked about gelling the other day with Luka and LeBron, but I think just adding that point guard is the biggest piece that needs the most gelling, because it is not his team anymore with San Antonio, but you are looked at. He's probably going to be having the balls more than Wembanyama, and he will be looked to set up Wembanyama and to get his own off. Where Chris Paul is kind of looked at just to set up Wembanyama, and whatever he gives you is a cherry on top. But of course, we know De'Aaron Fox can deliver with this, with his scoring and just the overall defense that he adds for this team. I like that this team didn't take a step back with Trae Young and trying to see if Wemby is truly the best center of all time. I mean, best defensive center of all time. I mean, you have a guy that can hold his own, and honestly is the point of attack defender sometimes. Keon Ellis outshined him defensively, but De'Aaron Fox is no guard to slouch on. I mean, he is a bigger guard at 6'3", feeling like he's 6'4" sometimes, and of course it has the athleticism and the quickness that is almost faster than any guard in the entire NBA. Yeah, so they have the trade deadline is February 6th, and they have the All-Star break here. So they do have a game in my league before All-Star break, so I'm really excited for that. As you can see, I'm 2 days behind because these trades have just been hitting me hard with just the stopping of the simulation. I'm going to be playing a lot of games today, it looks like, because I have a big slate here. I played this game, and I played this one right here. I didn't stream it. I should have streamed this one. This honestly was a very good game. I thought it wasn't going to be that worth streaming because LaMelo Ball wasn't playing. But that one was worth streaming 100%. I'm sorry for that. But back to the trades. Just the movement around this league has been very interesting because we finally got one of the big guys that was on the trade market, De'Aaron Fox, off the board. But it's crazy that these two biggest trades have happened, and we haven't yet to see anything about with Jimmy Butler. In fact, we've honestly seen regression in him, with the Warriors not wanting him anymore because he said he wasn't going to sign an extension with them. just a very interesting situation with Jimmy Butler still, and seeing him not being moved. I'm honestly thinking that he might not be moved because you're getting all these teams that want their players and are getting their players. So it's kind of hard now for a team like this, like the Heat, to convince me like you want this guy, or like this is a guy worth trading for now, because it looks like the Lakers found their guy, the Spurs found their guy, and then you were talking about the teams that he doesn't even want to go to, which is the Warriors and Grizzlies, and then so it's like I think Jimmy Butler might just end up on the Heat. In real life, they still sit at a competitive seed. But I would feel like it'd be tough, honestly, to reintroduce him into the locker room. Would now be the hardest part, as he left when you said you weren't starting him. They set the 16 in real life as well. So yeah, if you're able to maybe convince Jimmy Butler to come back to this 6th seed, I feel like the Heat, if they could honestly a bigger slap in the face to Jimmy, or it could maybe, I don't know how much it could convince Jimmy, but doing a trade for the Miami Heat, that's not the Jimmy Butler trade. Like, I think that's not the realm of possibility either. Doing a trade that doesn't involve Jimmy, and that would be a huge, big, almost FU to Jimmy and from the front office if they were to pull off a trade. But if it benefited Jimmy Butler, then why would he truly be upset? Because that's what he's honestly been asking for, and why he wants out. Because in the last 2 years, you've only been able to give him Terry Rozier, which we do good drafting, but you've been the only actual player that we traded for and free agency has been Terry Rozier, and it's not going to cut it. Moving on to, there's not that much to say honestly about this trade. I feel like we kind of almost knew this one was coming, so the shock value isn't really as there as the Lakers one, and we still see, like I said, the Lakers one still getting reported on and stuff. But this one feels good. This one feels correct. I feel like all teams kind of got what they wanted, except for the Bulls. But I feel like that's all you could get right now. So we all knew Lavine was on the market. So it's not like it's hidden from the market, and that might have been the best that you could have gotten, and which was your own pick. So that's the one thing that controlled your pick. You got that back. You control your future again. And you just build off of what you have right here. I hope Modest can really step out and shine, because I'm glad that you didn't get anything to hide his role. Like, I don't know, like a Harrison Barnes, or like any like a veteran thing would have slowed down his progression as well. So I'm glad you didn't get anybody there. Upset that Patrick Williams is on this team still. I felt like if you're gonna dump Zach Lavine, you might as well, and you're not getting anything in return, you might as dump the other poop that you have, which is Patrick Williams. No disrespect, because he has been horrible. But I feel like that would be the time to dump Patrick Williams, because then maybe you can get like I don't know, anything from either of these teams. And then we go over to the Kings, because the Kings are just kind of in this like mediocrity again, with the Bulls 2.0. I'm glad they're definitely able to add a lot more defense around this team in Keon Ellis, and then Devin Carter's been playing really good. You have Keegan Murray on the bench for this team because, like I said, Wally Zerbiak. But you have better shooting, I guess, maybe around DeMar. Not really from the center spot. I don't even know anymore. But I don't know. This honestly is a very questionable move from the Kings, and I honestly feels like this is like it feels for the Bulls and for the Kings that they both needed to trade their stars, because they felt like their stars were going to leave them, because Clutch Sports made it clear with the Kings that if De'Aaron Fox didn't find his footing here with the Kings anymore, then he probably is going to go to San Antonio in his free agency. So glad that the Kings didn't find themselves in as big of a hole. You got Zach Lavine back, so you did gain something back more than what the Bulls did. You're not in the complete Bulls. You didn't get anything back, and you didn't give up too much either. Still like talking about like Keon Ellis. They want another guard, but I don't know. Like maybe I don't know what else you would have given up, because they're not going to give up Malik Monk. I don't know, maybe like a Jalen McDaniels or a Kobe Jones, one of your younger guys. What are you at, 22? Like, I don't know. Like, It would have been something else. I mean, something at least young to gain back for the Bulls, but they didn't even get that. They got just some good tempo pieces, which I don't know. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of some of these guards packed up later in a different trade. I hope, because it doesn't work out. Like even when we're looking at all the guards now too, at least you had Zach Lavine, who's a scoring guard. You have Kobe White, who's probably playing point guard or shooting guard off the bench, but is going to be playing starting shooting guard. I mean, he's the most scoring out of all of them. You have a pass first Josh Giddey, pass first Trey Jones, pass first Lonzo Ball, and then a defensive guard in Javon Carter, and then an all-around guard in Io. Like, I'm still just baffled and confused with their guard rotation and how they're going to figure that out. Not as bad as the AD trade. Still looking over the AD trade. I cannot believe the Mavericks did that. I think they lost like 3.5 million followers, and I know they did their mural in front of they did like a homage in front of the Dirk Nowitzki, almost like a protest more than an homage. A protest from the Dirk Nowitzki statue in front of Dallas. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really hope that we see a little bit more filling out from these pieces. That's kind of my biggest issue with all of these trades, is that I don't feel like the trade for the Spurs. The Spurs have been the only team that and the Jazz, of course, but the Spurs are the only team that I feel like this trade deadline, like, I'd be fine seeing the Spurs continue with their season with this roster. Like, I would be upset seeing the Bulls not make another trade before trade deadline. And the Kings, I guess, like, you got your Lavine, but like maybe make one more trade. Like, you're really gonna commit the 2.0 Bulls in Sacramento? Like, I don't know. Weird to see that but pivoting also. I said the pivot was from De'Aaron Fox to Zach Lavine, but we just saw how bad and hard it was to trade Zach Lavine, and now you doubled it down again, making it hard as hell to trade DeRozan and Lavine, and neither of these players I feel like are going to be traded anytime soon from the Kings, because the Kings clearly want them on their roster, because they went out and actually signed DeMar DeRozan when in free agency. I didn't really know what team could be a good fit for DeMar. But yeah, no. So that makes a different team. I am happy that they're on the Kings at least, because they have a little bit more cap wiggle room in that regard. Like, so like if you ever wanted to trade either of those players, then you actually have more role players to work off with on the trade. Like, instead of the Bulls, like, you would just be able to add Patrick Williams, or you'd be adding nothing. Yeah, don't think this elevates any of the teams except for the Spurs. The Spurs should be playing a lot better basketball. I really hope that De'Aaron Fox kicks into gear immediately, and that, I mean, Wemby's not a hard target, and I feel like not a hard player to play with. So I think the ball IQ of De'Aaron Fox and it'd be interesting. I think De'Aaron Fox has never been under anybody's mentorship of like Chris Paul. I mean, we saw what that did for Shea's career. I mean, we all knew Shea that was gonna eventually be kind of this big player. But I mean, that year with Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, they ran some 3-guard lineups that they just seemed so off the IQ and just so fast. That was still when Chris Paul had a little bit of a step to him. But I'm really excited to see what maybe that Chris Paul under De'Aaron Fox, what might that unlock for De'Aaron Fox, because this is half of the year that Chris Paul has been there, so it's not like De'Aaron Fox is stepping into a completely new different situation for his first time in his entire career. But he's with now a veteran point guard who's bounced around to some teams. He's clearly figured out how to get Wemby going, so I hope that can just get transferred over with the knowledge of Chris Paul. But yeah, big time trades around the league. I'm expecting Vucevic to still be traded. That's kind of the big number one guy I'm still looking at now still, because like I said, I do not believe Butler's going to get traded, because now it's kind of the teams are getting the guys that they wanted, and now it's the Jimmy Butler kind of situation is like, we want him out. What are you guys going to give us? And I feel like the Heat are not going to take over a bag of bones like how the Bulls did in this situation. They're just going to let him walk. I feel like they're gonna get absolutely nothing. They'd rather get absolutely nothing than get beans. Which I truly believe that Pat Riley would do that. Just completely move on from his contract. But yeah, real excited for some NBA basketball. Like I said, tomorrow is the day I believe we could see some Lakers and Mavericks players start popping up. Might not be Luka, might not be AD, but maybe like Max Christie or the Morris twin. They might just show out for their benches. But yeah, big trade. Another blockbuster. I feel like it's crazy that we're getting 2 All-Stars. And 1 superstar. I mean, we already got 2 All-Stars. I mean, 2 All-NBA type players, and then we're getting this. I think De'Aaron Fox was All-NBA at one point, I believe, but more borderline. That might not be true. Let's go double check that. But like I said, De'Aaron Fox really elevates this team in a lot of different ways. Oh, 3rd team All-NBA. So what? Oh, that 2023 season was very big for him. So he's an NBA player technically. So yeah, just really elevates this Spurs team. I'm really excited. Sorry we couldn't bring out with a shirt today. Comments if you're able to. Did I wear this backwards? No, I didn't. Because it's the same on the back, but it's like they're back on the back. I don't have any. It's a 3-team trade, and I don't have any of it. I don't have the Spurs shirt. I don't have a Spurs shirt or jersey. I don't have a Bulls shirt or jersey. Oh, yes, I do. I could have wore my fraternity shirt. But they didn't deserve to wear the shirt for this video because they came out with the worst. And then I don't have a Kings shirt. So if you guys comment maybe what shirt, jersey we should get, maybe we get a Victor Wembanyama one. Don't know if I completely love the number 2 De'Aaron Fox jersey. I don't know about the Zach Lavine jersey either, but I could definitely see myself. I like those jerseys though. All those 3 teams have nice jerseys in their catalog. I'd probably go for a historic player if anything. 1B would be the only current player I'd maybe get. But yeah, drop in the comments what jersey y'all think I should get, because I didn't have one for this one. We went with the Looney Tunes. Shout out to Looney Tunes. But thank y'all for watching another video. We will be back on Friday. Y'all just got 2 lucky videos. If there's another big trade coming up, I'll post another video. Depending how small it is, I might not. But if it's like a Vucevic, even if it's a CJ McCollum, Jimmy Butler, if it's anybody in that kind of regard, then we'll definitely be uploading another video before Friday. If it's a smaller one, we'll save it for Friday. But shout out to your boy. Deuces.